back.
What's up, Valentz?
Man, I'm good, man. Well, welcome everybody to another episode of the Reps That Count podcast. We are your hosts. I am Valentz.
My name's Adam.
And Adam, if you want to go ahead and tell the people what the Reps That Count is about.
The reps that count are the moments in life that we have to pay close attention to. So the moments in life that have the biggest impact that we should be diving into and that maybe not everyone is aware of. So we're just shedding light into mental health, physical health, emotional health, and all those bank accounts.
All the bank accounts. All right. I think we have a good one today.
Are we going to talk about clones?
We could talk about clones. That would be a good one. I don't know if I know any clones, but
maybe.
I mean, I don't.
You never know.
Are you a clone?
You know, so my wife's conspiracist, but you know what else she's into? Reptilians. Have you heard of reptilians? Oh my
God. Okay, that's too much. That's way too much. Wait. Before we even go into the reptiles and stuff, let me ask you the question. I have to ask you the question of the week before we go on. Wow.
For a later time.
You're trying to get us canceled off rip. Oh my goodness. All right, Adam. What is something, and before I ask this question, if you're watching or listening to this, you can also answer this question. I actually encourage you to. What is something that you did this week that you are proud of?
I put in that overtime. And it was needed. There was a while. I spoke about this early on that I had just burnt out. Like I didn't have that extra drive to put in the extra 2 reps that I'm used to putting into. I'm used to working on overdrive, but I'd burnt out to the point where I couldn't sit in front of the computer after work. I would put the baby down and I'd usually work a little bit more, but I just couldn't. And your boy's back.
Yo, yeah. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, and I feel that fire coming back a little bit, which I like that fire. And I know it has to be balanced with a lot of rest, but I need that in my life, you know?
Yeah, man. Good, man. Well, welcome back to overtime time. Right? OT time.
Yeah. How about you?
For me, I spent some good quality family time this week. You know, Thanksgiving just happened, and then like a couple of days after Thanksgiving, I spent some more family time with my girl's family, and that was it. Like that was important, and that was the one thing that I was proud of because like I was actually in the moment.
Oh, that's great.
You know, a lot of times like we're out, but like we're thinking about other stuff. But this past week, like when I was in the moment, I was in the moment.
That's what it's about.
Yeah,
we forget.
Yeah. So I'm proud of that, man. That's so awesome. Today's topic, we're not gonna talk about clones.
Next episode
or reptiles. I don't know anything about reptiles. Besides snakes and lizards, but today we're gonna talk about ego. Right?
You got a big ego.
Okay.
That's it. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Oh my God. All right. Beyonce in the house.
A little Beyonce.
Did you listen to that song on the way here?
You know, maybe a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe sang along for a little bit.
I don't know the words to that one.
No, me neither.
I feel like, I don't know a lot of Beyonce songs.
My wife makes fun of me because I change the words to everything. Okay. And I sing it like I own it, and it's completely different words.
Okay.
I'm not on purpose. I just...
Oh, you don't do that on purpose?
No.
Oh, I thought it was like a purposeful...
No, like I just subconsciously make up words. It's like, that's not how that song goes, babe.
Oh, man. I've been looking forward to this day for a week. Oh,
Me
man.
too.
All right. So I started listening to the book you recommended.
Yes.
Ego is the Enemy.
Ego isn't Ryan Holiday.
Yeah. I am not that far into it. I tried listening to it at 2 times speed, but I got a good grasp.
Let's rewind. How do you do that? Like the 2 times speed, it hurts my brain.
You have to kind of ramp up. So you start at 1.25, then 1.5, 1.7, and then
you can get maybe that was my mistake then.
You can't just go straight from 1 to 2.
Compulsive.
Yeah. No, you build up. Okay. But I have to, because like when I listen to audiobooks, a lot of the readers, like, they read too slow.
100%.
So I'm like, I can't do this. Like, it'll make me go to sleep, and I can't pay attention.
I could read a book in 2 hours. That it's an 8-hour
audiobook.
Yeah, I'm like, dude.
No, so I do like 1 point. I started at 1.25, but now I'm at 2 times speed, and I could pick up everything.
Nice.
So yeah, man. But so far, it's a great book.
That's gonna work well for my reading and listening at the same time. Because I read faster than I listen.
See? There you go.
I'm going to try it.
Yeah. Just 1.25 at least. But
I go balls to the wall, bro. Two or nothing. Nah.
If you start there, then it gets crazy. It gets crazy. But I definitely have to listen to books and even YouTube videos. Like, I need the information as soon as possible. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you get 2 times the information, you know?
Maybe I won't get bored as fast because I stop stuff.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I'm like, oh my God.
It's dragging.
I need it way faster. Yeah. I'm going to try that.
Yeah. See, boom. If you're listening.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, man. If you're listening and you listen to stuff at 2 times, somebody's probably listening to this at 2 times speed.
100%. They'd be like, yo, these guys have 7 tangents in the first 3 minutes.
Yo, we haven't even got to the topic yet. We're close. The ADHD is ramped up today.
It's real.
All right, cool. So ego. Yes. I'm gonna let you go ahead and take off on the ego topic today.
Yeah. So ego, it's a part of us. Something you can never get rid of, right? There's self, and then there's ego. In psychology and philosophy, there's you, and then there's the mind, and the mind has an ego attached to it.
Okay.
So it's the thing but ego comes from either a place of fear or a place of mistrust or a place of vulnerability, and it doesn't have a lot of good benefits for the most part. And we'll talk about good ego.
Okay. So there's good and bad ego.
Yes. Okay. Well, I wouldn't say it's good or bad. It's neutral, right? Because you have to observe the mind from a perspective of you're watching the mind and seeing what it does, and you're letting it do what it does, and then you're saying, all right, I don't need that anymore. But the mind is going to do what the mind does, right? Okay. And the more you train the mind, the less it will do what it does. But the ego is always going to be there. Right? Okay. But it's how fast you can snap out of the ego and back into self that counts.
Okay. Now, so I know we talk about, like, we've had conversations about balance quite a bit. Mm-hmm. So, like, ego is one of those things that you need a little bit of to kind of balance yourself out, right? Is that how you see it?
So that's how I saw it.
Okay.
Ryan Holiday, from the book that you're currently reading, Ego is the Enemy, says that ego is different from, let's say, confidence, right? So ego is what's trying to get you to protect yourself at all costs and not open up and lie maybe or do these bad things. So he sees ego as something that is negative, and then confidence and all that is just something separate altogether.
Okay.
That's Ryan Holiday's take. I look at it a little bit differently, where ego is a part of you no matter what, and if you're gonna have an ego, just know when to use it and know it's just a tool like every other tool in your tool belt. Self is yourself without any of the external things or the mind, and it's just another tool. So like we were talking about, you got to have a little bit of Kanye in you, right?
Yeah, just a tiny bit of Kanye.
And that's going to take you far, right? Because you have to have that confidence that you're able to do things. That's what's going to get rid of imposter syndrome, right? And that's what's going to move you forward. And that's where self-worth comes into, right? Like ego is tied into that a little bit. But the second it goes too far, or you're using it in a wrong direction, like fear or like a mask, that's when we get in trouble.
Okay. Like, actually, we could use Kanye as an example, because I feel like Kanye came out on the scene like he had that confidence.
Yeah.
Right? Like the first 2 albums, like it was like a very confident Kanye, and like, you know, he got a lot of that from his mom, because I watched the documentary.
Me too.
But then towards the second half of his career, like that ego definitely took over, to where it was just like, it was back to the Ego is the Enemy book. There's a part where he basically said like the ego, sometimes you stop thinking about everybody else, right? And it's just about you, and just projecting yourself as like, you know, this big, massive, important person in the world. Like the whole world kind of revolves around you. And that's kind of where Kanye ended up, like towards the second half of his career. And like, it just kind of spiraled downward from that.
Yeah, I watched that documentary as well. And Jay even said it, where Kanye's always been Kanye.
Yeah.
You know, that's the same person. Like, he knew he was gonna be the world's biggest famous star since day one. That's a good ego, right? Yeah. That would take you places. But once it gets wrapped up into what other people think, and it turns into a mask to protect you, that's when it's not good anymore, right? So he let all the external influences create a bigger, more negative ego.
Yeah.
Which isn't good, but I still think there is some good that could be. It's almost like we have to separate the two. Like, there's the ego that attaches to yourself, and there's good and bad ego. And we have to categorize what is good ego. So confidence, self-worth, caring, all that, right? And then what is bad ego? So fear, doubt, masks, insecurities, all that would be considered bad ego. But just like everything else, like we were talking yesterday about how balanced the world is, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be all that in there.
I almost feel like the ego is kind of like a multiplier.
Oh, that's good.
Right? Like it could be a multiplier. Because like if you don't have self-worth, like you could still be like, that ego could make it like 10 times worse.
Yeah.
Right? And the confidence, like it could multiply your confidence, but then if like at some point that confidence turns to like, you stop being confident in yourself, right? Like you may reach your goal, and then it's like, what to do now? Like you don't know what else to do. And at this point, it's just like, well, I've always been confident. Now I don't have something to be confident about. I'm just going to be a loud, confident individual for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
And then like that just kind of turns into a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So the way you use it, ego's there, and it's the multiplier, and it's either going to multiply your self-worth and your positive, like, life of service, right? This is how beautiful the ego can be. If you think you are worthy of giving love and living a life of service, that has a little bit of ego attached to it as well, right?
Yeah.
Because you think you are worthy of helping people. There's ego there. There has to be. But that's a multiplier, because now you can spread more positivity. You can grow a huge business that can help, thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. But there's ego there. The biggest CEOs and people in the world, they're multi-billionaires, but they also have created, jobs and security for a lot of people. But there's still some ego there, right?
Yeah.
They can give to philanthropies because they made so much money. Or you can let ego control you and go down a negative path. So maybe it is attached to, is the ego for yourself, or is the ego to benefit others?
Yeah.
Maybe it comes down to that.
That's exactly what, that's the book touched on that too. Like where it's just like, you could do something for you or for others. I forgot the way that they described it, but it's definitely like, if it's just for just building, like you getting recognition, or you helping the bigger cause.
Yeah.
Right. Because some people like in a job, if you go into a job and it's just, hey, I need to figure out how to get to the top. Right. I need to figure out the quickest way to climb that ladder. Mm-hmm. Like at some point, people are going to look at you like, yo, this guy's this guy's an asshole. Yeah. Right. Like you're going to feel like, oh, I need to be this macho, terrible person. I need to stump down people. But then there's another side. There's another aspect of people who just have the team mentality, mm-hmm. where it's like, okay, I want everybody to rise at the same time. I want to help everybody get to the peak. I want to work as a team to accomplish a bigger goal, mm-hmm. and not just my personal goal. Yeah. And I feel like some companies definitely do that better than others. Absolutely. Actually, I have a great example of that. The book Delivering Happiness is about Zappos.
Okay.
The company Zappos.
Yeah.
Like they built a we culture. And like basically they had like a company handbook that every single employee was basically a part of. Like you had to input something into the company handbook. It wasn't like, hey, here's what the CEO decided that everybody's going to do. Like
that's amazing.
Bro. And like when you read the book, you're like, this is customer service. Like there was a point, I don't know if you can still do this, but you could call Zappos like wherever you are and be like, yo, I need a pizza. This is a shoe company. And the customer service agent would order you a pizza.
No way.
I swear. Yeah. Like that, like they took customer service to that point. Like they would order a pizza to wherever you are for you. And then that would be it.
That's amazing.
So I don't know. That was kind of weird, yeah. But it's still, a we kind of thing, not just a me. But that's another great book, Delivering Happiness.
Not even thinking about it more. I think that's it. Like there's ego. It's this multiplier. Is it we? Then it's a good way to use your ego. Mm-hmm. A life of service. Is it just I? Then that's probably not the best way to use your ego.
Because you're definitely going to create a lot of enemies when you're just talking about I. I, me. And people are just going to, separate themselves from you.
So what's one time that your ego has gotten the best of you?
Oh, fuck. Honestly, at some point in like the photography game, right? Specifically with weightlifting, like I think like I started to get a big head, right? And I was just like, yo, I'm like I saw myself as like the guy, right? And I'm like, because there's times like whenever like I had an opportunity, I would go out and just make sure other people, could be part of the team and get it. But I don't think I was at points. I don't know if I was doing it for them or for me. So there came a point where I started like having beef with people. Like, other photographers, I'm like, yo, what the like I'm not I feel like I wasn't getting the recognition from some of them, and like that was a problem. Like, and there was like this one, like I think I spoke to you before about like how art inspires art. Yeah. But like I would see other, like it was really like one specific person who would just like copy everything I did. I'm like, yo, but like she would never talk to me. Right? I'm like, yo, what's up with this individual? Like, what's going on? And like it kind of pissed me off a little bit. And then so I had an issue with her, and then like I had issues with another photographer, and it wasn't until last year that I started like, I'm like, you know what, like I need to stop. Mm-hmm. And then earlier this year I was like, all right, no more beef.
Yeah.
So July is when I was like, okay, I'm not beefing with anybody. Mm-hmm. Like anybody at all. I'm not even just photography, just period. Because I also had this thing where if I was cool with somebody and they had an issue with somebody else, like my ego would feel like, oh nah, that I got to be part of this. Like I need to defend my friend or whatever. And then I ended up having problems with individuals that I didn't need to have problems with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it gets bad when, like, let's say you have a problem with somebody, I have a problem with them now just because of you, and then you two, squash the beef, and now I still have this problem that was never my problem in the first place, because now I'm like, what the hell? Yeah. And then it kind of makes me have a problem with you, because I'm like, yo.
I've been there.
Yeah, right?
I've been there before.
Yo, I had this beef with this dude because of you. Now you don't have beef with them. Like, what's up? You're not real.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was, like, something I had to check with my ego. So now I'm just, like, more, like, I kind of stepped back. Because at the beginning, I was, like, super friendly, super open. And then it started getting bad. It didn't get too bad. Just a couple incidents.
Wrapped up a little bit.
Yeah. Just a couple incidents.
But it happens in work situations. You get wrapped up in the gossip. It's funny, man. It's so funny.
It is, though. It sucks.
But I'll tell you what. I've been in the room where people are talking about people in front of you. I've never seen you jump in, and I look for that in people. Yeah. Like if you're someone who talks about other people behind their backs, I know you're someone who talks about me. Behind my back. So I've never seen you talk bad about anyone.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I definitely I remove myself from that now. Like, I mean, there was a time where, like, it's interesting. Like, I'll definitely listen.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'll listen.
What?
Like, what? Nah.
She said what?
Oh, shit. But, yeah. But at this point, like, even if it's, like, if somebody's talking about a friend, like, I'll definitely defend my friend or whatever. If it's a situation that I don't know anything about, I'm not going to involve myself in it. But if my opinion is asked, then like I feel like I'm at this point in my life, I'll just kind of be the neutral person. I want to be. I kind of feel like there needs to be that person in the room that gives the other perspective. But yeah,
I like that. There was a Keanu Reeves meme going around, and he said, I'm at the point in my life where I don't care to give answers. He's like, if someone says 2 + 2 is 8, I said, yeah, it is, man. You're doing awesome. Have a great day. And like, that's it. Because it's the ego that feels like you have to give answers and you have to justify things and you have to be right. That's ego. Yeah. That's ego, 100%.
Yeah, definitely, right there.
The need to be right. For what? For who? Who benefits?
Nobody.
That's what I ask myself now. Who's benefiting from this? I actually stopped. I don't post as frequently now. And I was posting a lot, even a couple months ago, because I was trying to grow the nutrition business and all this. So I was posting every day. And then I started to ask myself, because I'd post like video of me lifting something. And it's like, who benefited from that post? Was it me just scratching my itch for likes? Or was there any sort of substance information that someone was going to get from that? And social media is just fucking full of that,
bro.
It's all of that, actually.
That's all it is.
It's all of that. We can lie and say, oh, we're in it for the information.
I'm trying to grow, blah, blah. Nah, bro, listen.
Man, you're scratching an itch.
Like, I've gone back and forth with social media and trying to grow and all that stuff. Like, if you look at my Instagram, like back when I first started, I think, but like photography, I think 2018 or whatnot. And I created the Snappy Patchy Instagram account. There was a few months where, I was using hashtags and all that. And I decided, I'm not going to do hashtags. Because hashtags are specifically for you to reach other people. And I stopped using hashtags.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to go back to the 90s way of like selling CDs out the back of your trunk. Yes. Like my Instagram really does not grow until I go to a competition. And like the people that I meet at the competition, the people I'm taking pictures of, those are the people who follow me.
Yep.
So like I don't have a big follower count. I'm at like 2,500. And this is from 2018. But from 2018 to now, there's been times in between where I was like, okay, like let me try to grow this account. And I remember watching a YouTube video because I would search YouTube, how to grow Instagram account, blah, blah, blah. And I found this one, and the dude was like, yo, I'm going to show you how to grow your Instagram account to 100,000 followers in, 6 weeks, yada, yada, yada. But before I do that, let me ask you this. Is it going to benefit you? Like, this is the question the person making the video asked. Like, is this going to change anything about your life? Is it going to change, like, your photography? Because it was like a photographer kind of thing. I was like, you know what? Nope, it's not. I turned the video off. And since then, I'm like, I post when I want. Yeah. I post what I want. Like, I don't follow any of the rules of, you have to have this specific aesthetic. Every picture got to look the same. Like, nah, I just...
Yep. I didn't like it. It felt... And I was doing all the things.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'd hired a consultant.
Ooh.
Yeah. Because I was real serious about growing this nutrition business. And like, I just go balls to the wall. So
yeah. It's
all the things. And it felt so fake and so ingenuine and so against everything that I was trying to do and create. I'm really trying to help people. And it didn't feel like that. Mm-hmm. Posting like, you got to have these words in there and these buzzwords have to come up, and like you got to use words like weight loss because people are searching weight loss. Yeah. And like I was like, oh, this is cringy, and it didn't feel natural. And I'm not good at doing anything that doesn't feel natural.
Yeah. I'm just
not good at that.
I like that. Because people could see it too. Like I'm at the point where I could pick. I'm like, yo, like this is crap.
Yep.
And
so I that's when I went to email. I was like, because you don't see, you're just putting information out there and there's no sales in my emails. There's nothing.
Yeah.
I wanted to speak my mind, and I want to do it for as long as I can and just bring up these topics that I think about. And it's so much more genuine when someone comes up to me. It's like, dude, I've been reading your emails and this one really resonated with me. And then it's a conversation.
Yeah.
It's not a like.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a fake comment back or something like that. It turns into a conversation. And like, I would rather have one of those than 1,000 likes, right? Like, all right, so this actually impacted you in some sort of way.
No, that's cool. That's a nice way to check your ego, I think. Because there's a lot of fake, like, and again, it is just strictly ego. It's just likes and you getting that quick little dose of dopamine.
Yep. And I hate that it's a part of the game. Like, it's a part of our business. We have to have an Instagram account. It is a part of what we do. Because I always wanted to be the cleaner. I forgot what book it was. Michael Jordan's trainer.
No, that's Relentless.
Relentless,
Tim Grover.
Tim Grover.
Yeah, I love that book.
I wanted to be the guy that they call to do the job that no one else could do, that no one knows.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to be.
But you could do that with Instagram.
I know. Exactly. But in order to do what the business needs an Instagram, there needs to be an online presence. There needs
I disagree.
Yeah?
I 1000% disagree. I feel like you do need, you don't need an online presence. You do need a way to process payments and, to get the information to your people. But you don't need to be this big,
No, definitely not big.
Yeah, I don't think you need that. You need, I don't think you need Instagram.
It's the new business card.
Says who? LinkedIn is better than Instagram if you're trying to really if that's your business card.
For business to business, I think LinkedIn is better.
I mean, I'm a regular person. I'm on LinkedIn.
People are hiring you for a business service for the most part.
Uh-huh.
My product is an emotional product that serves better on Instagram. When people, that's the first thing people ask, what's your Instagram?
Yeah.
So it does become your business card because it's a consumer buying a product, a service.
Yeah. But I feel like you're more of the business card than Instagram.
100%.
I do see, the idea. Everybody's on Instagram. but there's always times where people are not on Instagram.
Yeah.
And the problem with Instagram also is like they control it.
Yes.
Instagram controls it. Like I could follow you and never see your post.
Yeah.
So is that a good business card?
No, only maximum. If you're getting like good visibility, it's 10% of your people are seeing it. So
that's
absolutely
terrible. Yeah. That's terrible return on investment. If only 10, that's you know what I mean? That's a terrible return on investment.
You're right about that.
Right. I feel like there's other ways. I mean, there's like you could do YouTube. Like the newsletters are awesome.
Yeah.
Face to face.
Yeah. Face to face is the best.
Face to face.
Yeah.
Man, like again, like I still believe LinkedIn is a great, like even if it's business to business, like if you could get in contact with like a CEO of a business, like you could grow without like being this, like all out there.
Yeah. My cousin, which is my best friend, he was on The Bachelorette, stud. Mm-hmm. He was part owner of the gym, our first gym. Hasn't had an Instagram in 8 years.
And
thriving, crushing it. Doesn't know anything that's going on in the world.
You don't need to. It's a fucking distraction, bro.
I admire that so much. I think I have to just get rid. One day, I'm just not gonna have an Instagram.
I actually had a photographer friend and mentor. Like, I would die on this hill. She is like the best photographer that I know. Like, she is just amazing. Like, when it comes, I have a top 3.
Mm-hmm.
I only have a top. Best? She's number 1.
Wow.
Like, personally, and she had, and if you're part of my weightlifting community, you might know Everyday Lifters was the Instagram account that she had. Amazing photos. And at some point she was just like, all right,
wrap,
boom, just deleted it. Because at some point you lose yourself, mm-hmm. right? You're posting for the benefit of other people. And you're like, I don't, like, this is not even what I want to, mm-hmm. I want to post, but I'm going to post this picture because I feel like it's going to be the most liked.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she was done. And she's doing weddings now.
Nice.
But like even her wedding, like Instagram is like she'll post personal stuff, self-portraits, like stuff about family. Like, hey, I'm cooking today. Here's what I made. Like, I love that.
I love that too.
And it makes you more personal.
Yeah. Right? I think that's important.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, you can definitely do Instagram, but like post you, be real.
Be real.
Don't let that ego be like, oh, yo, I have to look like this person. Let me go rent the Ferrari and then drive to the.
That's ego. That's ego.
And it's fake, man. We're getting it's getting played out. Real is coming back.
Yeah.
Real is coming back.
All over.
Yeah.
Actually, I was reading an article where writing is coming back, like pen and paper writing. Yeah. Journaling is coming back. Like, people are tired of this digital life that is being created that's fake, another mask, right? And they want an authentic connection, because connection is key.
Yeah.
I was watching the Blue Zones.
I don't know what that is.
It's the areas in the world where people live the longest.
Oh, okay.
And I actually did this for a question of the day. What is the number one indicator of longevity? And I did we ask a question every day. It was like BMI, body fat, grip strength, VO2 max, or social connections.
Oh yeah, I know the answer to that one. Yeah.
For a long time, it was thought that some people would say your body fat percentage. Some people would say your VO2 max. And then recent studies said your grip strength was the number one correlator.
What?
Because of skeletal muscle mass.
Okay.
Skeletal muscle mass is a good correlator, direct correlator for how long you're going to live. Social connections was like by far, because social isolation will kill you. It would like decrease your life expectancy by like 40% or some crazy shit like that.
Damn.
Yeah. Social isolation. So what do they do to the most heinous criminals in the planet?
Oh, yeah.
They throw them
in isolation.
Because people would rather be in prison with criminals than to be alone, which is crazy.
Shit. Yo, that's wild.
Yeah. So that was the crazy part about 2020 and all that, right?
Yeah. We're
still
isolated.
Seeing the
effects.
Yeah, the effects of that, kids spending the first part of their life not being able to see loved one. I think that's built a lot of, I don't know. I think we'll see the full effect of that years down the line.
Yeah.
Years.
Yeah. And some people got used to it too.
Yep.
Because, like in some parts of the country and in other countries, like I know in Canada, it was terrible. Like I have a couple family members in Canada that I was speaking to last year. And like it was to the point where like if a family member came over for like more than an hour, your neighbor would call the cops on you. Oh my God. Yeah.
Fear mongering.
Bro.
I'll get canceled right now. I don't care. Like that is
your neighbor will call the cops, and then if the police came in and like the person wasn't your family member, like you'd get in trouble. Like if it's like, yo, the last names don't match.
I can't.
Yeah. But I think we got lucky.
Mm-hmm. Florida.
Like my son was born in 2020.
Yeah.
And, we stayed home for 6 months with him, but that was already part of the plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went to daycare and everything he's very, very social.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. Well, we just had loved ones that couldn't afford to get sick. So we took it very serious because they were just autoimmune compromised and couldn't afford to get sick. So we isolated ourselves, and then we got really used to being isolated, and that took a long time to break out of.
Damn.
Yeah. So it was like, you just get used to saying no to everything,
mm-hmm.
And just like staying home. It's like, this is kind of all I need right now. But it's tough, right? Because I think we've even lost some relationships due to just not reaching back out for so long.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of forget about your friends and stuff. Like I never stopped working, so I would consider myself lucky. Mm-hmm. Like I couldn't work from home, and like like peak of this stuff, right? I don't want to say the buzzwords and then get our stuff taken down, but the height, like I was still going into people's houses because it was my job to install the internet service.
And you're fine. We're gonna get canceled.
It was my job to, and it didn't mess up my, like I was like, yo, what the hell is going on? Like I don't see what you guys are talking about. I'm everywhere right now. Everybody's home. I had like peak of this. Yeah. I mean, there were times where somebody could cough, and I'm like, yo, stay in your room, cuz like
stay in your room.
Yes, but again,
I'm not missing anything.
I got lucky there, but yeah, ego.
I wrote some stuff down, so I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything.
Okay, Adam's checking notes. He made notes. This is important.
When I make notes, it's like 5 things, like 5 little
5 little bullet points.
Yeah, 5
words. Literally have 5 words. Ego, good, bad.
Oh, but this was in the book. The opposite of ego is humility.
Okay.
Being selfless, living a life of service, helping others. That is the opposite of ego. And we're talking about ego in a different sense, where there's good and bad ego, because ego is a tool that can be used. But so he has 3 points of how to get rid of ego, which is 1, talk less. So you don't have to say everything that you're doing or everything that you're going to do. Keep that to yourself.
I did hear that part. There was a football player was it Bo Jackson?
I think it was.
Yeah, where he was like Bo Jackson, like back in college, decided he was going to be one of the best football and baseball players. Or no, I think he said Bo Jackson decided that he was going to be a first round pick, but he didn't tell anybody except his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is dope.
That is dope.
He
made it happen.
And he made it happen.
Yeah.
You can speak it into existence without telling everyone. Without telling the world.
Actually, let's dive more on that since I actually listened to that part of the book. I know he mentioned like basically like speaking so much like will kind of trick your brain into thinking you already achieved the goal.
Yes.
Right. And then like you just like you don't have the drive to actually follow through. And he mentioned there was a book that just got published that was called I'm Working on My Novel.
Yeah.
And it was just a bunch of Instagram posts about people saying that they're working on books that will never come out.
Yep. And that was a real study that they did and they studied brainwaves and all this. So when you talk about what you're going to do, it releases the same endorphins as doing it. So when I say I'm going to be successful, I get a little dopamine hit. So you say that enough, your body gets the same response as actually doing the work. So you end up not doing the work because you're getting the happy chemicals from doing the work without any hardship, right? So that's what he was talking about with that, which it's true. Like when you're talking a big game and people are hyping you up, you feel good, right? You haven't done any of the work yet, you know?
Oh shit. So, oh my God. Wait. Okay. So now I'm thinking about like the daily manifestation like thing, right? I believe in manifestations.
Yes.
Right. But like, is there a danger to that also? Because there's a lot of people who manifest stuff but never achieve it and never do it. Like, do you feel like it's part of the fact that they tell themselves, you know, hey, I'm going to achieve this. Hey, I'm this. And then they keep saying it so much that they never really go for it?
I think it has to be coupled with massive action. So instead of saying your big, hairy, audacious goal every day, say what's your goal that day to get closer to your big, hairy, audacious goal. And that probably has a way bigger impact than your big, hairy, audacious goal, saying that every day.
Okay.
So it's like, I'm going to do this, and this is going to bring me closer. Check that off the list. I'm going to do this, and this is going to bring me closer. So keep that big goal in mind. But unless there's these small, actionable steps that you're achieving along the way, it's just a dream.
Yeah. So I don't remember which book I read this in or which podcast. But there was like another aspect where instead of like saying what you're going to do, you ask yourself, and then you're like, yo, am I gonna go to the gym today? And then you answer yes.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, like I can't remember what book it was, and I don't think it was Atomic Habits, but yeah, like you basically like you tell yourself what you're going to do, but in the form of a question, like, yo, am I going to go have a great day today? Yes, and then like it just kind of.
Because I do believe in manifestation. Like, I've manifested quite a bit of things in my life to the point where I was like, I gotta chill with these thoughts, bro. Like,
bad things too, right?
No, yeah, some bad things, but even good things, because like, just because something's good doesn't mean it's good for you at that specific time. And so you got to be ready for these things that you're about to manifest sometimes, bro. Like, and I do believe that. Like, my wife does too. It's like, bro, we gotta chill. Like, we're gonna end up in Hawaii. Like, you know, like, for real. So I do believe in that. I believe that the steps appear when you manifest.
100%.
You still got to take the steps.
Yes.
That's it. That's where I'm gonna leave.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. What else you wrote down?
Okay. Enjoy the work.
Okay.
So that's a part of the ego, and I've been in this situation before, and these are moments where I really didn't like who I was becoming because of the ego, where I thought I was too good for the work. So I thought I was too good for this situation that I was currently in. And I've probably missed out on enjoying or learning from some really good, not good, but hard or challenging or mismatched situations because I thought I was above it.
Okay.
So I think there's ego there, right? And you can find ways to enjoy anything, or treat things as learning situations. He talks about, I forgot who wrongfully went to prison for a really long time. He talks about it in the book, but
was it Mandela? Was it?
No.
Okay.
But it was a boxer, and he wrongfully went to prison 19 years or something like that.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a long time to wrongfully go to prison.
Yeah. But he said it. He was like, you can put me in these chains, but you're not gonna rob me of myself. I'm still gonna be me. So he used that time to get smarter. He used that time to study law, which he ended up getting himself out of prison.
I feel like there was
it's
a
one
show.
of the, it's one of the, it's crazy. It's real though. It's real.
Yeah, I think there was a show.
Yeah,
about
the name is just not coming to mind right now. But not thinking you're too good for any situation, not thinking, oh man, I wish I was somewhere else, because this is life and this is right now and this is your situation. Checking your ego and just doing the work and finding the ways we talk about and on our very first episode, environment, finding ways to get yourself out of that situation, but not missing the current lessons that you are experiencing at that given moment. I think that ties into ego as well.
Nice. Yeah, you definitely do have to enjoy the work, because then you're not gonna want to do it if you don't.
Yeah.
So all right, cool. What else you got?
And then the last one is be a student.
Okay.
So he talks about that, where lessons, right? So if you think you know everything, you lost.
You don't know nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The person who thinks they know everything has nothing to learn. So knowing that we actually don't know anything, because whatever we think we know now is probably not going to be that way in 100 years, right? And treating every situation as a learning opportunity, every interaction as a learning opportunity, walking into conversations not to answer but to listen. Is huge. Oh man, the day I learned to really listen is the day I think my whole world opened up. We're like try to understand this person and their perspective and their point of view and where they come from. And even if you don't think the same as them, doesn't mean that they're wrong and you're right. Right? It's just a perspective.
It is.
And respect people's perspectives, I think, is extremely important. And when we don't do that, that's our ego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you feel like, oh, this is like my way is the right way. But like the way you're raised in the neighborhood you were raised in taught you one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that other side, the other side of the track that you never been to, like that perspective is completely different.
Yeah.
Right? Like even in politics, which, we don't want to dive too much into, but like politics on one side of your county is completely different than the other.
Oh yeah.
Right. So like when it's time to go vote or whatnot, like the people you see as evil on the other side, they think it's good, and then vice versa.
Yeah.
Because again, like you might be eating steak and lobster on one side, and then the other side is, eating ramen noodles, and the ramen noodle side is getting the news that, hey, those people eating steak and lobster are the evil people.
So we're gonna dive into politics.
No, man. I'm just
gonna say one thing.
Just try it. Okay,
we just have to admit that there's so much gray, and no party or nothing is 100% right. Like there's things that I understand on both sides, and there's things I don't understand on both sides. But I don't know anyone that's completely one way, right? Like there's just so much gray there, and if we come from a place of trying to understand the other side on both sides, we can come to a more mutual understanding.
I think that should be the case.
Yeah.
The only problem is the players in the game don't allow
100%.
that.
They don't want.
Yeah, they're like 100%. Yo, I'm on this side.
Yeah.
And
polarization. That's how they want it as polarized as possible, which is sad.
Yeah,
and that's media, and that's politics.
That's
the game they try to play.
Yeah, and everybody loses because, again,
It's just such an archaic system, man.
Yeah, we need. I think I saw a video where it's like, yo, we're expecting one like. There was not that many people in the U.S. when this system was created, right? There wasn't that many states, right? And like now you're expecting one person to be in charge of so many things.
Yeah, I forgot what stand-up comedy it was. It was like, the forefathers come to the future, and they come here and they're like, you guys didn't write any new shit?
Wait, you guys are still doing you guys, bro, what? We don't even have horse and buggies anymore? And you're still operating this country the same way? That's crazy.
It's crazy. Insane.
That's it. Yeah, something needs to change. But fuck it. You know, that's ego.
I love the tangents this episode has, man.
That's ego, bro. Yeah. Like for somebody to think that they can run the country by themselves, bro. That's ego.
Yep.
Fuck. All right.
You couldn't give me that job.
I'll take it.
Really?
Yeah, I'll take it. I wouldn't do a good job at it.
No.
I'll take it for the same reason that most people take it.
What?
The check.
Yo, all that the stress of the world on your shoulders and a job that no one could do right, bro, it's not worth it.
Fuck. Yeah, it's not, but it might be. I mean, you know, you have Secret Service following you around for the rest of your life.
True.
I mean, you're
True.
Good. you know your family's gonna be safe. Well, unless you fuck up and then piss somebody else off. Then, yeah. But that's a whole nother topic.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
How are we gonna wrap this up?
I don't know.
Okay, so final takes on ego.
You know what? I'm gonna bring it to sports.
Yes.
Weightlifting.
Okay.
Right?
This is our fitness.
Yeah. We gotta do a little bit of fitness. Ego is the cause of a lot of injuries in weightlifting, right? Like yesterday, I walked in here and I was supposed to max out my jerks. A couple weeks ago when I was competing, I think I clean and jerk like almost 300 pounds. Yesterday, I got to 225 and I was like, oh, this is rough. At 245 was when I stopped. I was like, yeah, I'm done here. But like, if I had an ego when I was lifting, I would have kept trying and kept going, you know, trying to get heavier and heavier, and then I'd most likely injure myself. And I feel like in life, if you let that ego drive you and you don't know when to pull back, when you don't know when to listen, you know, like to your body or the people around you, or just listen to your environment, like you end up in bad situations.
Ooh, yeah.
Right. So yeah, you know, that's how I'm gonna end that tired, you know, a little bit to weightlifting and a little bit of life.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That dude, it's the same happens in CrossFit. Same has happened to me with my injuries. Same has happened to my clients. Like when they're like revert back to stuff because they thought keto fasting was the reason they lost weight. Mind you, they gained it all right back, but they're so stuck to ego. Yeah, there's so many plain and simple answers that are right in front of us, but we cannot see them because of our ego.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right. Damn, Adam, that was good. That was good.
It's so crazy we don't rehearse any of this. It just
we freestyle. But
I love it.
We freestyle, baby. Well, thank you for joining us, for listening, for tuning in. I don't know how many listeners we've had. I've never even asked. I don't care. But
I think we have a few, dude.
We do?
Yeah.
All right. I know we have at least...
I'll be checking.
Okay, you check?
Yeah.
All right, cool. We probably have at least 5. But thanks to the solid 5 to 10 people who've been listening, we really appreciate you. I don't remember what episode this is. Probably like 8.
I think so.
But...
that was good, man.
Yeah, man.
Happy I get to do this with you.
Yeah, man, for sure. All right. See ya next week.